It's the middle of the night. You wake up in total darkness. The fire is low. Everyone around you is asleep, packed close for warmth, and it's your turn to stay awake. Not because you want to, because if you fall asleep, something in the dark might kill all of you before morning. For most of human history, sleep wasn't rest. It was the most dangerous thing you did every single day. Think about what sleep actually is for a second. For 8 hours, you go blind. You go deaf. You stop moving. You lose track of the world completely. For a modern human in a locked house, that's fine. For a human 50,000 years ago lying on open ground, that was 8 hours of being completely helpless in a world full of things that wanted to eat you. And yet, every single human had to do it. So the question isn't, why did they sleep? Every animal sleeps. The question is, how did they survive it? And the answer is that they slept in a way that would look completely broken to you. Tonight, you'll do something no human before about 200 years ago could even imagine. You'll go into a room, close a door, flip a switch that turns off the sun, lie down on a soft surface, and stay unconscious for 8 hours straight. Alone or with one other person. Behind walls. Behind a lock. And if you wake up at 3 a.m., you'll panic. You'll think something's wrong with you. You'll reach for your phone and check the time and feel that little spike of dread. But that thing you're calling broken sleep might actually be the oldest, most normal sleep there is. You've just forgotten what it's for. Let's start with the biggest problem. You cannot protect yourself while you're asleep. So for hundreds of thousands of years, humans solved that the only way they could. They never all slept at once. Now we actually have evidence for this, and it's recent. In 2017, a team of researchers studied the Hadza, a group of hunter-gatherers in Tanzania who still live much the way humans did for most of our history. They watched a camp of about 33 people sleep for 20 days straight, and here's what they found. Across more than 200 hours of sleep data, there were only 18 minutes total when every single person was asleep at the same time. 18 minutes. In 3 weeks. At almost any moment of the night, somebody was awake. And it wasn't a scheduled guard duty. Nobody was assigned a shift. It happened naturally, because people fell asleep at different times, woke at different times, and drifted in and out through the night. Older people tended to wake earlier and sleep lighter. Younger people stayed up later. So the group was accidentally covered around the clock. Researchers called it the sentinel hypothesis. The idea that scattered, imperfect, mismatched sleep wasn't a flaw. It was a security system. Your grandmother waking up at 4 a.m. isn't a medical problem. It might be a 300,000-year-old feature, keeping the whole group alive. Now add the fire and the huddle. Humans didn't sleep spread out. They slept packed together, bodies against bodies, close to the coals. Part of that was warmth. A wet or cold human loses heat fast, and a fire that dies overnight could mean nobody wakes up. But part of it was safety in numbers. A predator is far less likely to test a tight cluster of 30 warm bodies near flame than a single person alone in the open. So the sleeping arrangement itself was a strategy. The fire, the pile of people, the light sleepers on the edges. All of it was one system built around a single terrifying fact. When you sleep, you can't save yourself. So the group has to do it for you. But here's where it gets stranger, because it's not just when they slept that was different. It's the shape of the sleep itself. You think of sleep as one solid block. 8 hours. Lights out to alarm. That idea is brand new. For most of human history, people slept in 2 pieces. A historian named Roger E. Kirch spent years going through old letters, diaries, court records, and medical texts, and he found something hiding in plain sight. Over and over, people referred to their first sleep and their second sleep. Not as a disorder, as a normal fact of life, The way you'd mention breakfast and lunch. Here's how it worked. People went to sleep not long after dark, because there was nothing to do in the dark, and light was expensive. They slept for a few hours. That was first sleep. Then, somewhere around midnight, they woke up. And they stayed awake for an hour, sometimes two. This wasn't tossing and turning. It was a calm, expected, wide-awake window in the middle of the night. And then they'd go back down for second sleep until morning. This pattern shows up across cultures and across centuries. It seems to be how the human body naturally organizes a long night without artificial light. Your ancestors weren't fighting to sleep through the night. They weren't even trying to. So what did they do in that middle-of-the-night window? Everything quiet. They tended the fire. They talked in low voices. They had sex. They prayed or performed small rituals. They thought about their dreams while the dream was still fresh, which is something you almost never get to do, because your alarm rips you out of sleep and straight into the day. That waking hour was private, calm, and undisturbed, in a way almost nothing in your life ever is. No screens, no noise, no demands, just you, the dark, the fire, and your own mind. Some researchers think that quiet window was one of the few times a person was ever truly alone with their thoughts, and we've completely erased it. Because here's what killed it. Not evolution, not biology. Light. When artificial lighting got cheap, first gas lamps, then the electric bulb, the night stopped being dark. People stayed up later. Bedtime got pushed back. The long night got compressed. And that natural pause in the middle, the gap between first and second sleep, got squeezed out until it vanished. Within a few generations, humans went from 2 sleeps to 1, and forgot the old way had ever existed. So now, when your body does what it's done for hundreds of thousands of years and wakes you at 3 a.m., you think you're malfunctioning. You're not. You're running ancient software on a machine that changed the rules. And this points to something bigger, because your ancestors didn't have a bedtime at all. There was no clock. There was no 10 p.m. You didn't decide when to sleep. The world decided for you. When the sun went down and the temperature dropped, your body started shutting down. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer groups found something surprising. They don't actually fall asleep when it gets dark. They fall asleep a few hours later as the temperature keeps falling. Cold, not darkness, was the real trigger, and they woke up near dawn, at the coldest point of the night, right before the sun. No alarms, no snooze, just a body perfectly tuned to a world without walls. And here's the part that should stop you. Those same groups, living the old way, barely have a concept of insomnia. In some of these languages, there isn't even a word for it. People lie down, sleep, wake, and get up. And the whole anxious modern ritual of trying to sleep, tracking your sleep, worrying about your sleep, simply doesn't exist. They sleep less than you, on average, around 6.5 hours, on hard ground, with no mattress, no blackout curtains, no white noise machine. And they sleep better than you do, because sleep, for them, was never a performance. It was just what the body did when the fire burned low and the cold came in. So think about the full picture. For 300,000 years, no human ever slept the way you sleep tonight. They didn't sleep alone. They slept in a warm pile of bodies around a fire, with the light sleepers on watch and someone always awake. They didn't sleep in one block. They slept in 2, with a quiet, thoughtful window carved out of the middle of the night. They had no bedtime because the cold and the dark set it for them. They woke before dawn with no alarm. And they did all of it in a world where closing your eyes was the single most dangerous thing you did, and they still made it safe enough that we're all here. You do it differently now. You've got a locked door instead of a fire, a mattress instead of a huddle, a phone instead of a sentinel, and a switch that lets you delete the night whenever you want. You've made sleep completely safe, completely private, and completely under your control. And somehow, in doing that, a lot of us got worse at it. We lie awake and feel broken. We wake at 3 a.m. and feel like something's wrong. But maybe nothing's wrong at all. Maybe your body is just doing the oldest thing it knows how to do, in a world that forgot why. Your ancestors never slept like you. They slept like the night was trying to kill them. And every single night, they beat it. That might be the most human thing there is.